Good evening. Yay, we made it. So with a little hop, skip and a jump from Sheffield to Rotherham, I have made it. I've also gained 2 cats who may join us or who may not. So for those who don't know, I'm Claire. I'm here with Pink Frog Crafts this evening, and we're going to be doing some lovely card making. So hopefully I've got everything with me because we have literally thrown it in a car and travelled a little way across the city in traffic. I mean, who doesn't love a challenge on a Wednesday? So let's just do a little bit of housekeeping for those of you who don't know who we are. So Pink Frog Crafts, we're based in Chesterfield, not too far away. And basically, you can find us. Lovely Kim will pop the website up on all the different platforms for you to see, so you can buy directly from us. We've got lots of offers. If you sign up to our newsletter, you will get 10% off everything you buy from Pink Frog. So that's all of our offers, all of our bundles, absolutely everything. You just get another 10% on top of whatever your order value is. So, and you can use that more than once. It's new code every month, but once you subscribe to the emails, you'll get that new code every month. So offers this week, I'm going to be playing with some 20 centimetre by 20 centimetre card, which makes beautiful DL cards and some really interesting folds. That's all on 10% off in all the different colours, super smooth, black, all the colours that we do as well. We've also got 10% off our red liner tape. Don't forget, red liner tape at Pink Frog comes with 30 metres on a roll. Let me grab that. So you'll see that they're really big rolls. So we do it in 4 different widths, 3mm, 6mm, 9mm, and that's just the width of it there, and the 12mm. Best offer on that is if you buy all 4 thicknesses together, but you'll still get your 10% off that as well if you've got your subscriber code. Other offers this week, if you watch Dawn on Monday, she used the watercolour card and the super smooth. If you buy 40 colours of watercolour, you will get 40 sheets of watercolour. You'll get 40 sheets of super smooth for absolutely free. Just add both products to your basket and it'll give you the discount. The other offers that we've got an offer until the end of the month, so you'll see I'm going to use some of the Britannia Dies today as well, and as we use those you'll see what they look like, but you get 10% off those this month as well. And let's show you what we're going to make. So we're going to make 2 lovely little cards today. This one we're going to use some ink blending to make that background, and then this sentiment, there you go, is basically, this is in here, but it's inset, so we'll show you how to do that. It's a really nice way of getting the spacing beautifully on your sentiments, and also how to get those in there. And then we're going to make this little beauty as well. So all made out of the 20 by 20, and you can see just that detail on this. It looks like embossing or erased, but we've done all of that with die cuts. Okay, so without further ado, let's get crafting. I can see Kim busily typing away, but I have no idea if anybody's there. If you are, I'll say hello now, and I am going to turn the camera around and we'll go overhead and then you'll be able to see what I'm doing. There we go. Let's whip that round and flip. There we go. Fabulous. You can come back now, Kim. There we go. So we're going to start with this little beauty. And I have forgotten something really important. I've forgotten the stencils. But we will make it work, unless I've left them in the car. Do you want to have the keys are in my thing? If not, I'll tell you what, you do that. I'm going to start with this one instead. You know, today's been a bit of a challenge, but that's all right. So the 20 by 20 card basically looks like this. So it's 20 centimetres by 20 centimetres, folded in half, will basically get you a DL card. So whether you have it portrait or landscape, okay, that will do that. But we're actually going to use one of the fancier folds. So with Pink Frog, what you do get is whenever you buy one of our one of our card sizes, you get lots of folding instructions. This one actually has 13 different folds on it. These come in your package, they're actually printed, they'll be there for you, they'll be printed off, so you've got these to keep forever. And the one we're going to do today is the bar Z fold that goes into a C6 envelope. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to grab my scoreboard. The good thing is I found my glasses, so at least I can see what I'm doing. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Obviously we've had to change the setup a little bit by moving. There we go, we're good. So it says to score this at 5 and we score it at 10, okay? But then we just need to chop this apart a little bit. So we'll pop the board away and grab the trimmer. And it says what we need to do is then cut this at 15 centimetres. So if I put that to 15 there on my board, on my trimmer, and we do this, we'll then fold this way and this way. Pop the trimmer out of the way. You can always use your Teflon tool just to smooth those bits down. Yeah, that'll give you nice, beautiful, crisp pieces, yeah. So, there we go. And we will go in there as well. So, that will give us these two pieces. In fact, I'm going to do that one that way. That will go there and there. No, we've got no stencils, but we'll find something else. Do not worry, all will be well. So that will give you the basis of this card. We can then start to build this up, okay? But that is, I mean, the great thing about this is you can put this little bit at the bottom, you can put it at the top, you can put it in the middle. So whichever way you do it, it's going to give you like a different feel. Yeah, so it's a really, really interesting, beautiful fold. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab some bits that I've die cut, and in fact let's do a little bit of die cutting. So on some of the pink card, there we go, that's beautiful. Is that, yeah, it's one of the spare pieces. And so some of the dies we're going to use today, so we've got lots of dies from the Pink Frog, so from Britannia Dies. These are just some of them. I'm going to use some of the flowers today, but I'm going to use them in quite a basic way. If you want to know how to use these to make really 3D flowers, Dawn will be going through that next Wednesday at 4 p.m. So feel free to join her. She's going to show you some great techniques. I am going to use a couple of these today, but I'm going to keep them quite simple. Dawn's going to do the amazing technical stuff next week. But what I am going to use, I will use this one at some point. This is our... I can never remember what they're called, but you'll find it on the website, the leaf strip. And I'm also going to use this. This is the poppy leaf die, but this for me as well also has got a bit of a kind of like damask feel to it as well. So I'm going to bring in my little mini die cutter, and we'll bring this just little piece of card in, and let's pop you there. All I'm going to do is just pop that on. I just want to show you how beautifully the cut and the detail that we get on these. So you'll see this is a tiny, tiny little die cutter. A lot of these dies will go through your smaller die cutters. They'll definitely go through all of your, your standard size ones, but the fact it cuts through these little ones as well for me is lovely. Let's just poke that one out. Okay. There we go. But you can see it puts lots of beautiful detail in there for you as well. It does come, some of them come attached. You can detach them if you want. I tend to leave mine together. It's entirely personal preference. So then what I've done is I've cut lots and lots of these out. And I'm going to grab some out of my little prep box. There we go. And all I've done is I'm going to do it on the panel that's going to go across the front. So I'm going to grab some of our EVA glue in our non-clog bottles. I'm going to use the fine tip one actually because there's some little bits in these. And all I do is put glue on the back of these. And just stick them So it's colour on colour. So I've used the same colour. This is, I've taken this out the same size, so out of the 20 by 20, but this is the light pink. This also comes in the tonal set, if that's kind of the colour theme you like. In the tonal set, as well as getting the light pink, you get the light brown, and I've only got one of the greys with me, I think, and I've got the grey. There is a lighter grey. So in the tonal, you get all 4 of those colours, which are great to work with. They're just really soft, really gentle. For me, they have that high-end kind of really posh bedding feel about them. So, you know, a bit of luxury, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to carry on building on here. Don't worry about the bits that have gone over the edge. By sticking or stamping things over the edge when you're crafting, what you'll find is it actually looks more kind of natural, rather than trying to get everything to fit on there. I'll pop you in there. There we go. Pop you. I'll use that side of you and pop you in there. I'm kind of there, really. At home, I'd give this I'd just let it set a little bit so that when you snip it or when you move it, it doesn't come unstuck. Although the EVA is pretty quick grab. I'm just going to put a little bit more of that end. There you go. There we go. So just let that stick for a minute. I'll snip that bit off last. And then all I do is turn it over and just follow the straight edge of your piece of card to snip off all of that excess. Okay, so just all the way around. A little bit sticking out there. But there you can see, all of a sudden, that looks as though that's been kind of debossed, really, because it's raised up. But just a really super simple way to use your dies to go that little bit further, give you a bit of dimension on your cards. So if there's, you know, if you're trying to tie things in together and you don't have an embossing folder that would match with that, feel free to use your dies to do that, yeah? So just a really quick and simple way. I need to do that little bit as well. There we go. Let's grab a little bit more of the EVA glue. So like we said, there's 10% off all the dies this week. And then on top of that, you'll get 10% off with your subscriber discount as well, which makes some of them really good value for money. So where you've got these bits as well that you've snipped off, you can go back in and use those. So, you know, this is great for using some of your waste as well. You know, these little bits that you might have thrown in the bin. We'll pop them on there. Let's find another little bit. I might go for a big bit on there actually. There we go. Okay. And they just stick on there. Non-clog glue bottles are amazing. If you haven't tried these, definitely give them a go. They definitely changed my relationship with wet glue. I was never a fan. Now I use these all the time, and because the pin is in the lid, you don't lose the pin, and it's long, so it goes all the way in, which means it doesn't affect, you know, it just doesn't clog. And they come in 2 different widths, so I'll open them both actually so you can see. So you'll just see they're just slightly of wiggle room, hopefully not that much. There you go. There we go. And that will fit on there. And then we can put this on our base cards. I'm putting this on my back panel. If I wanted to, I could stamp on this. I could put a sentiment on this. I can write on this. Whatever I want, really. Alternatively, you could always make another one of these panels and put it on the back of your card if you don't want to ruin any of the aesthetic of your card. This is our front. Let's give it a quick rub on the other side, and then we'll put this as our front panel. There we go. on there. And then we'll work on this little bit that's going to go across the middle. So again, we've got the piece that we've just decorated, a little extra piece of card, put the glue on there, pop that on there. And the same for this, our other little square that we did, and that's going to go on this little square. So they've all just got like 1/2 centimetre border on them. So just a nice little tiny border. And we'll pop this one on here, and then we can start to assemble, and then we'll move on to our topper. So this goes on here. And this will go on here. There we go. So, because I'm going to stick this onto, I'm just going to put the lid, so what we say with the glue, it's always just give the nozzle a wipe before you pop your pin back in. It's just good housekeeping. Now I'm going to grab some of the red liner tape. I'm going to use the, I think probably the 12mm actually. Now the reason I'm going to use this on here is because I'm popping this onto something that isn't flat. So what I want to do is, and if I do that, I know I'm going to not get tape in the wrong place. Come on, snippity snip. Yes. So I'm going to put a bit of tape on there and another piece the same. And that one will go on there. And in fact, what we can do, I mean, we could use wet glue for this, but I want it, and because it's a dynamic, it's a moving part, I am going to use the red liner tape because it means it'll give me that instant strong stick. So anything with moving parts, I would definitely try red liner tape. It's your double-sided tape, but it's extra strong. If you struggle getting your tape, like the backy tape off, again, give it a burnish with your Teflon tool and you'll find it much easier to get your covers off. Of course, they don't want to come off today. We're not writing today off at all. We are carrying on and we're still smiling and we're crafting. So, just a few technical challenges today, but let's give that another rub. I think all my supplies got a bit jiggled up in the car. I mean, I don't know if they're quite on 2 wheels, but not far off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one on here. I'm not too worried about whether it being completely central. So I'm going to probably drop it down a little bit and pop that there. And then we'll do the same. We'll just take the backers off this. There we go. Fabulous. And then we'll bring this in and make sure it's nice and straight. And that really should just come down. I shouldn't have to really worry about lining that up. Because it's come off the same piece of card, it should automatically fit on there, and it does. So that's nice that you don't really need to worry about that. So then what we've done is I've just cut some circles. So obviously still out of the light pink. And on this one, I've used the light brown. On the original one, I used one of the greys. I think that's the light grey. Yeah, it is. So I've used the light grey, I think, on the original one. So, but you can mix and match whenever you remake something. It doesn't need to be exactly the same. And then what I've done is I've cut some of these leaves. So these are out of the leaf strip, yeah. And I love this because you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these every time you cut them. And they're just beautiful. And you've got 3 go one way, 2 go the other way. So it just feels really organic when you're using them. I've cut this out of the 160 GSM. So this is our lighter weight super smooth, and the reason being is that I can cut 2 sheets at a time. So when I'm cutting lots of little bits, so you can either do it so they go kind of like that. That'd look really cute as well. So where you've got them going alternative ways, or you can pick out the ones that you've got. Let me see what else I've got in here. The ones that go like the same way round. Have I got enough of those? Let's find out. Probably not. So, got a few more left in the box, yeah. No, I've got all the ones that go the other way now, haven't I? Oh, there's the other one. There you go, so we can go that way. Oh, one more I need. Of course I do. There we go. You know what? Doesn't matter too much. Apparently it does. Keep looking. I got one. Yes, there it is. Perfect. Yeah, so the nice thing is when you cut like a strip, if you cut them out of the paper, the 160 GSM, and you cut a strip of these, if you've double layered the paper, you'll get 10. You've got 10 of these to work with. And for me, these are great. They're just great fillers. You can just pop them, you know, behind flowers, any floral elements. Sometimes you look at a card and you just think, oh, it's not quite finished. Pop a little flourish, pop a little leaf element on it. You'll find it lifts it completely. So that's going to be one of my little tips for you this afternoon. Or this evening. I've gone this evening. Oh, I'm not used to late night. It's a bit much, isn't it? Right, let's pop this one on here. Just so you know, my mind is whirring because I'm thinking of that second demo and how I am going to manage to do something, but it's all going to be fine. And you know what? We can do this.
I was looking in the boot.
Yeah, it's fine. Kim's been for a route round my car for me, but I think I've dropped it on the way somewhere. So I'll talk you through how I've done it and we'll find a different way to do it. And, you know, it's crafting. We're all good. We're all here. There we go. I'm not too worried that there's a little gap there because I'm going to pop some florals on this anyway. So anywhere I've got a gap or something's not overlapped just right, I can use my florals to change it. So what I'm going to do is grab some of my little flowers. Now, some of these I've already inked. So what I've done is I have taken one of the Lisa Horton Interference inks. This is just Warm Chestnut Shimmer. And you wouldn't really think this goes with the pink, but if you apply it just quite gently, it's got that kind of nice softness to it. It's got like a burgundy browny colour to it when it's put on white. And it just goes really beautifully with this card, apart from if you dip your fingers in it. There you go. So we're just going to just do that. And you'll just see it just... The paper takes the ink really well and you can just start to build that colour up. And I only wanted a tiny bit of colour. Can I have some kitchen roll, please? Yeah. It's all right, laptop nearly went flying. This is what happens when you move craft rooms. Tap. There we go. All is good. There we go. Right, so we've got our little wreath there. I'm just going to put the flowers on. What you can also do is if you grab your flowers, and if you've got a pokey tool, this is a bit of a fancy one, but any straight pokey tool will do the same. All you're going to do is just rub those flowers over the edge, just to give it a little bit of a curl, yeah? Just to add a little bit of dimension. So nothing technical. Yeah, we're only just doing a little bit of shaping of our flowers really. And then what we'll do is we'll start to pop these on here. So we'll pop them there. Like I say, anywhere you're not happy with a gap or where something has like overlaid it and you don't particularly like it, pop your flowers there. If you don't want to pop the flowers on, you don't need to. You can either pop them as singles, you can pop little clusters of them, whatever you fancy really. Yeah, just pop them on. Try not to stick it to your own finger. There we go. But you can see that I'm putting the tiniest amount of glue in these. And all I'm doing is putting glue in the middle, in the centre of my I'm going to use my pokey tool just to press it down in the middle. There we go. We have another one there. And you can put as few or as many as you like. So for this one, this is the die that I used. So, and you'll see when this cuts out, it cuts 4 flowers and 2 at the base of your flower, your calyx. So basically they're great. So it makes it really quick and easy to make your flowers. Then what we're going to do is we are going to pop this and this on here, but I'm going to use, I wanted it again, it's a really dimensional card, so I wanted this to pop. So I am just going to find my foam pads. Yay, I remembered those. So foam pads, whether you want to go for the big ones or the slightly smaller ones. So just to let you know the 2 sizes that we've got. These are the slightly bigger ones, so these are 25mm by 25mm, and then the other ones we do are basically half the size, yeah? So let's take that one off there. There you go. So they're about half the size, but either one of them you can chop into as well, okay? So I'm going to use, and sometimes it's quite good to use, you can kind of use the big ones to start you off and then infill with the smaller ones. So you can mix and match them because they're the same depth, they're just a different area size. Let's just stick that one, there you go. So nice easy lift covers on them. And then I want to pop this right in the middle of my circle. And then I'm going to pop this on here. Now, because I'm going to pop it on here, what I'm actually going to do is, so I don't get any foam pads where I don't want them to, I'm actually going to put the foam pad on my base, and then I can just line this up where I want it and just pop it on there. I have got some little gems. So these are just like the little silver ones, they're almost clear. And I'm just going to pop those in the middle of each one. You'll see me use these a lot, and because there's so many in the pack, they go an awfully long way. And I really like them. I really like having a lot of this small size. These ones are, the small ones are sometimes a little bit difficult to get hold of. But the fact that you get like a whole sheet of these is brilliant. So let's pop these. Again, everything that I'm using today, you'll find on the Pink Frog website. And you know, just in case you've come across this page by complete accident, although that we're streaming live on the craft store, everything you buy will come directly from Pink Frog. Be placing the order with us, we will look after you, we will make sure that our order gets to you. So just in case anybody has got any concerns at all, that will happen. So let us make a little sentiment. I'm going to use Best Wishes. Again, I'm going to bring in my little die cutter, and I want a little bit of this brown card. I'll just snip a bit. So what I did on this one was I've die cut this sentiment. This is a great sentiment, and one of the reasons I love this one is it comes out as 2 words, but the letters in the words are joined up, so it makes it nice and easy to get your spacing right, because it's all done for you. You don't have to worry about that. I'll come back that way just because I'm lazy. There we go. Letter. There's always a different way around it. So for me, yeah, I could just stuck this on, but for me it looked a little bit flat. So what I've done is I have cut this 3 times and layered it up, and what it starts to do is make them more like kind of like chipboard or those little cards bits that you can get. And I love the fact that just by cutting something a couple of times and layering it together. So again, I'm going to use the EVA. If you don't have these, another product we do, which is quite handy for doing these little bits, is the I've forgotten all my words today. The Sakura Quickie Glue pens. There you go. So they're really good for this, especially anything with letters on, because you're almost writing. with the Quickie Glue pen. If you don't know what they are, always drop me a message. You'll find me on social media. I'm fairly easy to find. If you make anything today or you want to share anything you've made with Pink Frog products, feel free to join our inspiration group, which is Pink Frog Inspirations on Facebook. We'd love to see you there. So you can just see all of a sudden, instead of being flat, this makes this quite 3D. So that's what it would have looked like, the one on the right. And this is the one where we've like stacked it. So for me, stacked die cut elements, stacked die cut sentiments work really well. And it just makes them, gives them that kind of they just look a little bit chunkier, adds a bit more dimension. So again, we're just going to add a little tiny bit of glue on the back of this. I'm just dabbing it on. If ever you get too much on there, you can always just grab a scrap of card and just dab it off a little bit. And then we'll bring in our card and we'll pop that on there. And we'll pop you on there. You can always put something not really heavy. I quite often use my stamping blocks just to get a little bit of weight while things are setting. So then carry on crafting really, so I don't have to wait. There we go. And there's your best. And we'll pop that on there. And work out where that fits best for you. There you go. And that'll go on there. And we'll just grab one more little gem to go over instead of our dot. It brings the gems into the centre of your sentiment as well. So it brings all of that together. And that is how easy that is. So what we've done is we've used the dies to make our background. Then we've used the dies to make a wreath, even though it was just almost like a little single leaf die. And then we've used that layered sentiment. So there we go. DL card, yeah. So these will fit in DL envelopes. And for these, you can either work on them vertically. I'm going to go horizontally today. Okay. Down there. Now, I've already inked one. How amazing is that? And I've got the little, right, okay, we're not a million miles off. Woof, 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 woof. All is good, all is good. So, how I did this background, I can. So, I'm going to grab the Fruit Salad Summer. So when I did this before, I did have the other template underneath it, but as long as I keep within that square, I'm going to be fine. And what we're going to do is, again, we can just add a little bit more ink. So you can put ink on top of ink. I would let one ink dry so that it sits on top of it, but you can see that all of a sudden we can start to kind of build these up, do different things with them. I'm going to pop that one on there. This is another stencil. I've cut this on my Cricut machine. If you've got dies, they will also cut this stencil film. You can even use your punches with it. And then we're going to pop you the other way. There we go, I want you there. Perfect. So we're going to leave that one there and just bring this in. These inks are beautiful and they've got a sheen to them as well. So if you've not seen them, I know a lot of you will have done, but they're beautiful. But for me, being able to ink over them and get that two colour blend was lovely. I'm then just going to use... The reason I'm using the dot in the middle is because I've got less chance of going over a bit I don't want. So randomly, the dot on this has become one of my favourite bits of this stencil. So sometimes look at your stencils, look at how you can use different elements. You don't always have to use it as it was designed, as it was put together. You can use different bits, yeah? So there we go, and that's just brought that to life a little bit. I'd be quite happy to do that, almost have that as it was, not do very much else with that card. But we are gonna build on it a little bit. Actually, what I can't do, because I've only brought my little tiny machine, so we'll have to bring this one in, is when I got to that stage, so what I am going to do is I'm going to pop some of this back on here. I'd forgotten I've not brought the big die cutting machine with me. I thought I could get away with just the little one. There we go. We'll pop you on there. It means I get to do a bit more inking, which is never a sad thing in life. And we'll go that way. I've got ink all over my fingers now, so we've gone over the edge a bit, but you know what? I can live with that. It's inky goodness. We're all happy. A couple more dots on this one. So, there we go. Pop the lid on you, pop you there. My finger's a bit of a wipe. I've got ink everywhere today, but you know, you'll get the idea. So, when I got to this point, I would then grab, this is one of the sentiment dies from Britannia Dies. This just says thank you on it. So I would have taped that on there and run it through my slightly bigger machine. This won't actually go through there, which is just going to leave me a gap, okay? Which might look a bit weird, but what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do like an inlaid sentiment. And for me, this is great where you've got words where it's not completely joined up. So sometimes it's hard then to get that space in. Whereas this, it's there, and then we're going to inlay on top of that. So what we're going to do is we are going to pop that onto our mat. Lost a million things. There we go, there's the card. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pop this on here. Oops. There we go. You do just want a bit of glue around some of these bits that they're not loose, but you want to make sure they're stuck down. If that makes, in my head, that makes complete sense. So we're going to pop you on there. So I'm sure I've got a scrap of paper somewhere. Will do. What I'm going to do is I am just going to, if I've been inking and I want to make sure something's stuck down, I'll quite often use a scrap of paper just to do that, because what you might see is it might pick up some of the ink, so it stops me spreading the ink any further. What you'll see there is I haven't quite stuck some of that down, so this is another way that the non-clog glue bottles just get into those little areas. So sometimes if you need to get glue under something, the non-clog glue bottles are amazing for that as well. We are then going to cut our thank you. So I need a little bit of, I've got all my baskets mixed up now. No, I'm good. There it is. Look, I've got a bit cut out ready. So I'm going to cut this out of the light brown. Let's pop you there a minute. And then we're going to inlay this. I'm hoping I got to the end of that too. We'll find out in a minute whether it's cut or not. Yes, it has. Cuts beautifully. So for something that's very intricate, cuts really nicely. Bearing in mind this is 290 GSM card. So it's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy weight for such a delicate die cut, but you'll see because of the quality of the dies and the quality of the card, it works beautifully. So what we're going to do is we are now basically going to play jigsaw with this.